Michael, are you there?
Yes, sir.
You want to take it away?
Yes, sir. All right. Hey, guys. So, as we all saw with the postings and the flyers and everything, we are going to cover co-sponsoring and what it is, the new way it is, the breakdown of it. And as we touched on it a little bit last week, there really is no downside that I see. It's just a great way for us to team up, partner, help grow ourselves, and find extra support in ways that we wouldn't normally have. So I think the best way to kind of get into it is to jump off and we have a little 5 minute video Frank shared with somebody, but if everybody hasn't seen it, or it's a 4 minute video, maybe we can have Chris play that video and then we can talk about it and I can answer some questions and we can get some clarification because I just think it's such a great program, but you really have to understand it to really start to see the benefits of it. So, Chris, can you put it up?
I think the audio's out, Michael. Hello?
Chris, we have no sound.
No audio, buddy.
All right, hold on. Hello?
Yes, Chris, I can hear you, but I cannot hear the
It helps you. So,
perfect.
hi there. My name is Russ Lag, and I want to talk to you about co-sponsorship, new program that's coming out with eXp, and it's going to take things to the next level because it helps you solve some of the problems that come up when you're joining a new brokerage like eXp. In the past, the system went something like this. I have a choice between Michael or Olive. I know both of them. Both of them are lovely people, but they both bring different things to the table. You see, Michael, he and I go back 20 years. I've worked with him in other brokerages. He's just a great dude. I would consider him a friend, not just a coworker. But then Olive, on the other hand, Olive has a really cool program for how to actually leverage your social media in business to take your business to the next level. So in this scenario, I would have to typically choose either Michael or Olive. I really want to take my business to the next level. So co-sponsorship is about you being able to get both. Instead of dividing revenue share between the two of them, we've developed a system where actually both of them get revenue share and both of them get a benefit of having this sponsee join into the company. The second scenario we're talking about is like this also. I'm with Michael. He's my buddy. We've been together forever. Michael lives in Michigan now. I live in Florida. I want to join eXp, but I don't really have the ability to get supported as well by Michael as I'd like to. So Olive happens to live in Tampa just like I do. So I would love to have a scenario where I can name Michael as sponsor, but also be able to have access to being around Olive and being there for support, being there for training. And Olive, of course, knows what's going on the ground in Tampa and would be a better support person for me to sell more homes. In this scenario, co-sponsorship will be able to solve that problem also. So let me describe to you simply how this works. Michael is going to be the sponsor since Michael's the person that originally brought this person to him. So let's name the sponsee Steve, okay? Steve comes to us and says, I got to choose between Michael and Olive. I'm going to say, why don't we have both? Michael becomes a sponsor since he's the one that started the program. And since I want the things that Olive brings to the table, Olive becomes the co-sponsor. Here's the fun part. Michael still gets all the benefits of being the sponsor, which includes he gets rev share and he also gets FLQA. In addition to that, he's going to get the stock grant because sponsor always gets the stock grant. In this scenario, co-sponsor Olive, she gets to benefit from having Steve under her in her rev share organization also technically. And Olive then is able to collect rev share. She also, because Steve is on her level one, gets to participate in the fast start rev share bonus. So that additional 50% of rev share for year one will be going to Olive since he's on her level one. Now, the great part about this is that makes it a little bit different and interesting is if Steve adds people below him and adds people to his family tree, any rev share generated from Steve or the people below him for the levels below him will flow up to Michael and flow up into Michael's organization. That is not the case with Olive. Olive will get the benefit of rev share from Steve and anybody that's below Steve. Rev share flows up to her, as you can see over here, but it does not flow above her into her organization. That way, we basically have the same rev share dollars getting distributed just a little bit differently. Olive wins, Michael wins, and of course, from a company standpoint, we want to make sure Steve gets the best of all worlds and Steve wins. Our company is committed to making sure people we bring in have the opportunity to have the best sponsor and the best people to back them up and make sure Steve has the highest opportunity to be successful. A couple of caveats to go along with this. The only difference here with these is Olive cannot be in the same family tree as Michael. So let's just say Olive is down here. Steve can't name Olive and Michael within that same family tree because then you'd be double dipping. Michael would get paid on the rev share from Olive and the rev share from Steve and the rev share going up and down the tree. So with that said, this person has to be outside of your family tree, outside of the 7 levels below you so that we don't double dip. And this gives us the ability to collaborate versus competing with the other organizations in eXp. I hope that makes sense. Keep it simple. See you on the other side.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. So pretty straightforward, guys. It is really, really cool the fact that we are now able to partner with somebody outside of our area, maybe with an expertise in something different, where we specialize in, and have it where we still get the benefits of a full rev share. And like they said, you're only losing the level 1 part, but you get paid more on level 2 anyways if you're sponsoring somebody. So the level 2, you get paid more. So you lose that bit, but then you get the whole growth and the support of somebody else. I'd like to open up. I mean, is there any questions that we can really delve into? Does anybody have something come up? But there's some things that pointers to really fill in that he touched on. If you look at the My eXp app, or if you look down the people that you sponsored down to 7 levels, or if you go up from 7 levels. So I was sponsored by Elgin. Elgin was sponsored by Frank. Frank was sponsored by Brent Gove. I could not name any of those people as a co-sponsor. I sponsored Miguel. Miguel sponsored Raphael, or Miguel sponsored Brendan. I cannot use Brendan as a co-sponsor because he's in that direct straight line. Now, Elgin sponsored me and Elgin sponsored Nate. If for some reason I said, oh, I want to co-sponsor with Nate, I can do that because we are not in the same line direct up and down. Okay. So anybody on the same line level with you, you can co-sponsor with. And how it affects the person who sponsored you is it just becomes kind of a dead spot in that area because they're not getting down, but they get the benefits of the sponsorship that you're getting all the way down as well. Now, I'll open it up for questions and we can kind of get some clarity if there's anything, because I know it gets kind of confusing, especially when it's all thrown at you all at once. I know, Kelly, you had your hand up earlier. So
Yep. Just one question that I didn't realize till you said it now is, so the primary sponsor, the person they're bringing in that maybe wants to co-sponsor with you or whatever, whoever, has to be on their level 2. So they can't sponsor them as level 1 and have a co-sponsor. It has to be their second level. Because I did notice in Russ's video that showed that as well.
yes. So they go down to your level 2, but as he said, you get basically all of the benefits of the level 1. Because
I mean, I don't have an issue with it, but how, like, let's say, so because there's a guy that we're looking to kind of partner to do this with, but if
Okay.
he's bringing someone on, it would be his first level. He'd almost have to put it under someone under him in order for me to be their co-sponsor and vice versa, right?
Okay. So
You can't designate someone on level 2.
no, did you sponsor this other person that you're talking
No,
about?
no, we're not in each other's downline.
You
So
know.
that part's good.
So you guys would have to figure out in the start, are you going to sponsor him or is he going to sponsor you? So if you sponsored him, right, as a co-sponsor, and then he was bringing somebody else in. If he wanted to work with you in general to start, he would say, I have somebody that I'm going to bring on. He would sponsor you and then you would co-sponsor that agent. If that makes sense.
No, because then I'd be in his downline. We're already with eXp. We're in separate lines, right?
This is where it comes. Oh, sorry about that. But you're going to have people in different downlines, but it starts a new leg. You become kind of a placeholder. That's why the level 1 gets taken. So that's why Aria, for example, if Aria sponsored me, because there was somebody down in Santa Clarita that he wanted to work with, I would go underneath Aria. Everybody that sponsored me, Elgin, Frank, and everything, would see no benefit from that leg down, right? They would only the people that sponsored Aria would see the benefit because I would be level 1 to Aria as a new leg. So that would be everybody that I sponsored underneath that leg, or anybody that his co-sponsor sponsored would come under me. So my benefit of being the co-sponsor would be that I'm getting 7 levels created under a new agent. But above me wouldn't matter. So you have to pick somebody, and it's going to have to be a new leg. And so It doesn't matter that you guys are both already in EXP. Am I confusing things here more?
Yeah, I'm not sure I follow how I would be able to co-sponsor with him then because I don't know who that level 1 is for him. Like I just
No,
don't
he would
get
be
where.
level 1. Okay, you have an agent that you want to
Yep.
co-sponsor with, right? And you have somebody that you want to bring into the company, but he's in another area, so you want to have him get the support of that agent. You sponsor that agent and name the other agent that you're talking about, your partner agent, all right, as his co-sponsor. Okay. So he gets the benefit of having that agent on his level 1. And so that's the support. He supports him, but he gets revenue share for 7 levels down.
Right.
Because he's the co-sponsor, he goes in and takes up a placeholder spot on your level 1.
Okay, so let me see if I get this. Because we're automatically because we are doing a co-sponsor, that person becomes my level 2.
Correct.
Correct.
Like, okay, I'm
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay,
They
thank you.
automatically, because the placeholder for the person that's here has to be in the new spot to start.
And eXp knows that just because we're co-sponsoring. I got you.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
you'll have to indicate, and again, we have to contact that person. I can't just say I'm
Right.
having, AJ Maida do my co-sponsoring and he doesn't know.
Correct.
So
Right.
the agreement, and they've got to name the co-sponsor.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
Cool. I am going to jump to Rob Edwards, and I'm coming to you next, Aria. Okay.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Rob.
Morning. Super basic question. When that new agent caps,
Oh.
who gets the $4,000 that first year?
So that's the fast start part that he was talking about. So the co-sponsor, right, would end up with that 4,000. You get FLQA, and you would also get the stock award. So the benefits of the level 1 get split. You, as their main sponsor, would end up with the stock award and the FLQA. The co-sponsor, the person that you're partnering with, ends up with them as level 1, and they get the fast start, which would be the 4,000 up to 4,000 bonus.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good deal. Great question. Aria, and Sung, you're next.
Yes, Michael. So in the example that you gave me, since you are in Frank's downline,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm the same. So let's say today I said, Michael, you have this great program that really boosts production, and I want to become a greater producer. So I said, okay, well, great. Let me actually have to do a co-sponsoring with Michael so that one of my agents can get the benefit in Southern California. Can I do that even though you said you're on the Frank, not directly, but indirectly through Elgin, and I'm also directly on the Frank. So I cannot initiate that. It cannot be because Frank, we are in some shape and form under Frank, correct?
No, you can do that because if you look on your, like I said, on the My EXP, if you look at that line that he said, if you look up 7 levels from you and down 7 levels for you, you do not see my name.
Okay, very good.
Right?
Okay.
So what happens is if you sponsor, and this is maybe, I don't know if I want to go here confusing, but if you sponsor me, right? I become a new leg. So everybody on that leg under me, Frank doesn't get revenue share from because he's already getting it from the sponsorship that it goes under you.
I can't double dip. Okay.
Make
Great.
sense?
Yeah. And then, so this is something that you can do. It doesn't have to be initiated at the beginning when somebody comes in. It could be done at any level at any given time.
When they join, they name their sponsorship. They name their
Only
sponsor.
only when they join.
When they
But
join.
Yes. But
So
later.
it's not correct. It's when they join, they have to name their sponsor and they got to name their co-sponsor. So it's something that you would come into as they're joining. And it's not retroactive. That's not say when this had happened, I'd say, okay, now I want to co-sponsor and partner up with all these people. It's going forward.
Yeah. The reason that I ask if it's retroactive or it's something, because I have somebody in my team that is getting mentorship. The mentorship send them an email and basically say like, well, if you want to get ongoing support, we do lead generation, we do all of these things, come and join our team. And of course, in a way, I felt like, okay, the agent in the mentorship program being attracted to joining a team. This could be a great solution that if there is some value somebody's giving, then they can propose that. But that cannot be done because the person is already in eXp with me, correct?
Correct. They could join the team, but they can't be sponsored by them. That me as an agent, right? Take a lot of new agents, and that's a lot of the attraction I do. One of the benefits that I really like is I've attracted somebody who's in the Bay Area, right? I do not have a team, a solid presence there, but I know there's a few teams. And when somebody comes and they want to be on a team, I will contact the team lead there and say, I have an agent that's looking to be on a team. Do you want to talk to them? I will sponsor them. They will join your team. So now I know that they're getting support. For the team, they get the benefit of having them on their team. But now with this new way, right, they will get also an added benefit of the person that agrees can co-sponsor them. So now they're going to pour into them a little bit more because it's not just what the team brings, they're getting something for them for the life of their career. Okay.
Thank you.
Good deal. Sung.
So actually, I think it just got answered. But just to reiterate, so you can't bring on a co-sponsor later on. It has to be done at the same time that you're coming into eXp.
Yes, at the time that you're coming into eXp.
Okay.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, back to you, Rob.
So operationally, at least one agent in these scenarios has the full knowledge of how this works. Oftentimes the prospect doesn't have it, but the prospect may have their eyes on someone else that they've seen online, right? The influencers. At what point do you, as the agent with all the knowledge and the close relationship with that prospect, introduce the concept and for why? Give me some examples. I mean, I have some in my head, but I'd like to hear from you all. What are the examples of why you would do this? And I know that Russ talked about it briefly, but I'd like to expand on that since we have time.
Okay, so I'm talking to you, Rob. You're telling me, oh, you're really great. I like you, you know. And I'm just going to use Brent just because it's Brent and whatever. But let's say that I was not sponsored by in the direct line Brent. And I'm talking to you and you say, oh, Brent, it's so great. I would really like him. I see his videos. I want to work with Brent, but I know you, Michael. You know, I know you've talked to me. You've done all this work, but really, I think I'll get more support if I go with Brent. And I say, okay, well, that's great. Well, Rob, I've got a great idea. Why don't we work together? You're going to get my support. You know how much I care. But what if I'm able to connect you up with Brent and make sure you can get that support as well? So now I'm going to introduce you to Brent. I'm going to talk to you. We're going to see if, we're going to work and I'm going to co-sponsor you with Brent. So you introduce it just like you're going to talk about the sponsorship. Hey, when you come into eXp, you're going to name a sponsor. Now, when you come into eXp, I'm going to have you connected. We're going to actually set up a meeting. And the same thing with as I did now and I've always done, I would put the prospect or the agent kind of in a three-way text sometimes. Check with Brent. Brent, do you have time? I have an agent who's really interested. There does this. And I would talk to the other agent that I wanted to introduce you to Brent. Maybe you can talk. So now Brent's going to be more open because he's actually getting some of the support coming in if he sponsors the agent. So going to make the connection. Brent, I was working and would love to co-sponsor this agent with you. Maybe we can have a three-way chat and you guys can talk and then we can go forward. And so they're going to talk because there's no downside for the agent to come in and say, well, you know what? I think I'm just going to name Brent as my sponsor because what's the point of doing that when you can have another person sponsoring pour into your career?
So what needs to be transparent and maybe thoughtful is what are your strengths and weaknesses and what are the co-sponsor strengths and weaknesses, and they should complement each other. Right? You have X, Y, and Z nailed because of who you are, maybe who your upline is, and this guy over here has other things nailed. You would say that completes the puzzle. Is that why you'd pull that trigger?
Yes, that's why I would look at the signals that they're giving me because somebody's going to tell me, oh yeah, I've seen your stuff, and then they keep talking about this agent that they've seen online, this entity that I like this person, I want to go. So you talk to them and that they say, okay, great, I love the eXp. And they'll get off the phone with you and then they'll go and find a way and sign up. And so you have to introduce this with that. So that would be one signal that you see, or another idea if you're talking to them and you just have this idea, you know what? I see this, I see the strength, I see the path that you're going into. So this would be what I would recommend. And you can do that with somebody in your area, somebody working out, or it may just be because you may just choose to sponsor somebody solely yourself anyways and just say, this is great, you're close by, I'm going to be able to pour into you, let's give this. But if there's anything that I see with my client, with my agents, I'm going to offer this option probably a little bit more than self-sponsoring sometimes, because I say, okay, if you're not in my direct area, if there's some way that I can help you succeed as well, why wouldn't I go the extra mile and get you sponsored by another person as well? Because I'm still getting the benefits. I mean, the only benefits you're really losing is the 1,200 on the first level, but the 1,200 on the first level, right? You're getting paid more for them being on your second level anyways. And it's that $4,000 bonus, but you also get the FLQA, which is huge, and you also get the stock option, which can
FLQ,
go ahead.
FLQA matters more. Well, it mattered more 9 months ago than it does really today. Up to 20 people, right? They've unlocked all that for us, right? So some people
Yeah.
may see FLQA as something of the past, right? By the time you get to 30, you'll probably get to 40 because you have the skills to get to 30, so you get to 40. But between 0 and 30, the FLQA thing really isn't that important, is it? It doesn't unlock anything.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm assuming you're productive, depending how productive your agents are. But I'm think from level 5, right, to level 7, that's where it's going to make the most difference because you can easily, you cap, you're getting to level 5, right? You icon, and you've got all your levels covered. So there's a lot of people obviously that are capping, not quite as many that are iconing. So
Mm-hmm.
to unlock those last 2 levels, which, as you know, the 6th and 7th levels are when you start to go back up again, and the 7th level pays you more than any level at all. So that's where it gets you to that spot where okay, now I'm coming. And then also with the FLQAs, right? There's slow times and fast times. So just having extra people kind of cycle through. If you have agents, some are making FLQA, some are not. Just having more people that can possibly fill that spot, it becomes more important.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And I suspect that at some point the Join app is going to be updated, right? It's going to have fill in your sponsor name, and it's probably going to have a question, would you like to co-sponsor too? So I'm thinking ahead, our prospects are going to see this on the screen in front of them and say, oh, we never talked about co-sponsoring. What is that? Right? So I'm curious how that's going to look when it goes live.
Right.
It's just, yeah.
That will be interesting to see, and I think that will be coming up again when they kind of launch it April 1st, when they start really, really putting it out. So we'll be able to see, at least they're going to launch it. So we're going to see, okay, this is how to do it exactly, and if there's going to be a spot in there. And a lot of times, as you walk through your agents as they're joining, they're going to call you and say, "Oh, wait, there's a sponsorship. How do I do this?" And you're going to tell them how to fill the sponsorship. And there's a co-sponsor. Well, you're going to tell them, you know. When you join, I'm going to be your sole sponsor. So there's going to be no co-sponsor. Or when you join, I'm going to be your sponsor. Remember, we talked to Elgin, and Elgin's going to be your co-sponsor. So, and I usually, when people join, I send them a letter. This is what you do. And in big red lightings, sponsorship. When it says who's your sponsor, this is how you spell my name correctly. Goes here. When you're going to put co-sponsor, this is who you're going to put. This is here. When it says mentor, you're going to put this person as your mentor, or you're going to let the person join without a mentor, depending how seasoned they are. So you're going to walk them through to make sure that they know what to put in at those spots.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Aria.
I just wanted to say something that maybe clarifies it also for Rob. I see this as an opportunity that you're not necessarily giving it to the agent says, okay, this is also what's available. You're using it as you have a conversation when you hit the objection to say, do you know what? I'm in Texas, you're in California, you don't have an office, but there is a local group here that I see that they are having a monthly meeting or weekly meeting and training. So you feel like you're losing already kind of leverage with that particular prospect. So this is the time when you say, you know what, why have a cake and eat it too? Let's actually create the opportunity where you can join that office, but also since we kind of just have an opportunity to work together, create that as well. It's not something that you go there and offer it at the beginning. It's more of a tool to utilize it when you're losing leverage or you feel that really truly the other agent needs something that you can give it. So you can offer them a solution, but it's a pill. It's like a medicine. It's not something that you just offer them like a candy to everybody, because I think that would dilute the process. It's not the purpose of it. At least that's my understanding. Hopefully that clarifies something.
Yeah, almost like you need to be selfless and think about their needs.
Yeah.
And if you can't fulfill it all, who can? And so for some reason, I attract new agents. They just come, find me on LinkedIn, they hit me up, and I got two waiting to be sponsored, but they don't live near me. And so I'd like to think maybe I could put them on, not only on a team or with a mentor or a team that is a mentor, but maybe do the co-sponsoring thing. So I was trying to figure out where the money flows here. Where's the, all of it. Thank you for putting this on and putting it on a workplace, because that's how I found you. I don't know any of you all. And so I found this on workplace. Thank you.
Rob, I like how you think. Put the other needs, other people that you're sponsoring first. So that's a good way. You definitely have a kind heart.
Yes.
Love that.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys, I think it's just a great opportunity. Like Aria said, it's not our number one go-to. I'm not using this as a attraction. And some people may. It may be the whole thing. You may say eventually in your, the way you work, come and work with me. I know all these other agents and you're going to sponsor with me. I can co-sponsor with whoever you want. And that could be part of your draw. But in general, it's going to be, I'm looking for people, if I'm attracting agents that I'm sponsoring. Now, when I get them and I'm talking to them, as I'm not throwing up eXp. Look at, you get this, and we get this. I'm talking to them about them. I want to know what they're doing. I want to know what their pain points are. I want to know how they work and what works best for them and what support they need. And when I find out that information, just like when I talk to a client who's looking for a house or looking to sell their house, when I find out that information, I'm looking for the best solution. And I'm looking for that solution, obviously, to include me, right? As long as I'm included in the situation, it doesn't matter if I'm including Aria or somebody else, we're sharing, it's just growing. Now, with this co-sponsoring, it will also allow us to open up our market, because I'm here in California, right? I grew up in Minnesota. I don't know a ton of agents necessarily in Minnesota, but if somebody came to Minnesota to talk to me and say, "Hey, I want to get sponsored by you," okay, great, I can sponsor you. But now it's still kind of reaching out and saying, "Well, can you help support this person that I sponsored?" But now I can talk to agents that I know in Minnesota, build those relationships, and then all the people that I know in Minnesota, if they're becoming agents or if they're agents, and I say, yes, now is a great time for you to join eXp. Why don't you work with them and I'll sponsor you and you can be co-sponsored with this agent that's here that we all know that has a great relationship. So it allows us to say, wait, maybe I can start working in this other state or in this other area or this other market. I don't know much about commercial, guys. Right? We all know there's Paul, Frank. We know there's a bunch of other agents in commercial that maybe we know. You talk to somebody who wants to do commercial or is in commercial, it's a perfect opportunity to kind of break into commercial for your organization by co-sponsoring with somebody who's in commercial. Now you know that they're going to get the support of somebody in commercial. They're going to get that. Plus they have you for residential so you can work and grow. And you also have that connection. So is there anybody else that has another idea? Some ideas, questions about this for clarity? Kelly.
Hello. Sorry, I can't see the hand raise on this for some reason today, but I just wanted to say to Rob, yeah, I have a situation like that now. There's a lady I've been working with. I've helped her multiple times. She's here in Florida with me, but she's known someone for 20 years who was her sponsor before she left eXp. She's coming back. She wants her to be her sponsor, but she can't help her as much because she's in California, the sponsor. She's here in Florida, and I've been helping her, and it was a conundrum because I wasn't going to make her not use her friend, but like how, and this is like solving that issue. But like Rob, I'm not in your group. I'm from Florida, and I found it because what I love about eXp is whoever posted this on Workplace, and I'm like, I need to know more about this topic, and I joined, and you all are welcoming. So I love that. And I think this is a great opportunity for many reasons. This is my focus this year rather than transactions. And this opens up so many doors. So I really appreciate you having this. I do have a question. Do you know then that we can do it with commercial? Because even though that's like a different entity than the realty division, we are allowed to. Okay, awesome. That's great.
Yes, because they're still with eXp. Go ahead, Frank. Sorry.
Yeah, first of all, Chris, my tech guy, is responsible for all of you getting this information. I want to put a bow on this because we're getting close to ending. A couple things. Number one, I have probably lost 15 to 25 recruits from Florida to Texas to Nashville to Tallahassee because I've never had anybody to plug into. So this is a godsend. Number two, some of you are really lost. because some of you are just trying to get into production to pay the bills. I get that. I do. When I got into eXp, I saw this revenue share as the way out. Most people don't want to recruit to eXp. There's only 0.25% of all the agents in eXp do this to get their money. But I want to tell you guys something. The first time you get a $10,000, a $15,000, $20,000, or $25,000 rev share check, your whole mind shifts because it changes your life. Now, I get it. Some of you are not into this. And I have people in my production line that don't want to do anything with recruiting. That's fine. God bless them. They do real estate, they love eXp, and that's great. When I talk to people about eXp, I don't even bring up recruiting because it's the farthest thing from their mind. That's why it's really important when you meet somebody to find out what their strengths are and what they want, and can you give this to them? So first of all, I want to say thank you to Michael for talking about this today, because I can tell it's changed your mind a little bit about this very complex thing that we're trying to get across. When we announced this 2 weeks ago, I had Brent on a video and everybody was going, that was amazing. How in the hell do you do it? And then Michael wanted to run that video today from Russ, who probably gave us a 5,000-foot view of what this is looking at. Remember, you guys, if you need help, I don't care. You're not in my line of sponsorship, reach out to me. I'm on Workplace. Reach out to Elgin, reach out to Michael, reach out to Nate, because this is who the winner circle is. We help everybody. That's our philosophy. Okay. And if you need just to get in production, just to keep the bills going and not get the lights and the hot water turned off, we have all been there. I have failed more than you guys have tried. I want you to know that. Okay. I am just so blessed to be in Brent's line of sponsorship. I'm fortunate that I know a lot of people and we can help you spread the wealth. So if you have any questions at all, please contact us. Come back next Monday for our call, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in the winner circle. And we'll have a different subject, but you can go ahead and look this up online. And April 1st is when this program starts. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining. Have a great week. Michael, love you, bro. That was awesome. You did a great job.
Frank?
Thank you.
Yes.
I put something in the chat. I'm looking for new members for my Toastmaster club that meets online. Is the second and the first Tuesday. As a realtor, we always depend on doing a great presentation to our buyers and sellers. If you want to learn more about it, just come and join us. You can come and leave and be my guest. Thank you.
This is for people who, how should I say, are not very comfortable in speaking in front of crowds. I think this is a great program. Some of us have a knack, and some of us, like me, just freeze up and we get nervous and we sweat and we get headaches and we have upset stomachs. So thank you, Aria, for that plug. I really appreciate it. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.